Starting today, I asked Marina to file administrative cases and to place the people under Region 9 Marina under preventive suspension. Ito po ay sina Regional Director Engineer Sibal, Engineer Bibi, at Second Mate Kimiki. At yung mga ibang personnel doon na mga 8, pinasipak na rin po natin. Ganon din po sa Philippine Coast Guard. Pinarelieve, pinasipak din natin yung mga ibang personnel sa Region 9, and they will be facing administrative cases also, and they will be placed under preventive suspension. And the following personnel are the Station Commander of CGS Zamboanga, Lieutenant Commander Tristan Perveciano, at yung sinasabi nating boarding team, the one that conducted the pre-departure inspection system, PO1 Turawini, PO3 Barreto, PO3 Asmawil, PO3 Muyo, all Philippine Coast Guard. At kung lumabas sa pantinig ng administrative cases nila, na meron silang matinding kababayaan sa kanilang tungkulin, we will not hesitate also to file criminal cases against them. Dahil kapag may overloading or overcapacity, posible pong nagkaroon ng cargo shift doon sa mga rolling cargos ng vessel ng MV Prisha Kirstine 3. At kung ang overloading or overcapacity is the combined weight of the passengers and the rolling cargos versus dun sa actual na capacity na kayang buhatin ng barko. Lumabas din po sa investigation na hindi tumaan ang mga rolling cargos tulad ng mga truck at motorsiklo sa waiting bridge doon sa Pantalan. Ibig sabihin, hindi po natimbang ito, wala tayong actual weight. Kundi ang meron lang tayo ay informal estimation. May nakita din pong poor seamanship. Ibig sabihin yung competence ng mga tripulante. Lalo na nung nagsimulang pumasok yung tubig sa barko. Lumabas din ang inconsistencies, no? Which is still subject to further validation by the Coast Guard. Doon sa numero ng pasahero as per the passenger manifest, kumpara doon sa mga numero ng survivors or still missing at recovered. So yan ay talaga namang inaaral pa ng Coast Guard. Lumabas din po sa investigasyon po natin, sa report din po ng Coast Guard, na meron na po mga safety violations ang mga vessel sa pre-departure. Ganun pa man, pinayagan pa rin ito makapaglayag. At isa sa mga mas mabigat po na lumabas sa investigation report, itong vessel na to, itong MV Prisha Kirstine 3, meron na po itong safety deficiencies. Ganun pa man, nabigyan sila ng safety certificate o seaworthiness certificate. Ang gumagawa po nitong safety audit, sabihin natin pagdating dito sa vessel, ayon sa Marina, ay ginagawa ito ng isang supposedly third-party provider, yung sinasabi na ng classification society. At ang pangalan po nito ay Orient Shipping Lines. Given these circumstances, ulitin ko po, this is an interim and partial report, but given these circumstances, naniniwala po kami na meron na kaming sapat na basehan to give sanctions not only to the shipowner and PCG personnel. Una po, inutusan po natin ang Marina na magsampa ng kasong administratibo laban sa Allison Shipping Lines to determine whether or not to revoke their certificate of public conveyance or yung practice po nila. Kasama po din dito ang pagsasampa ng kasong administratibo laban sa mga tripulante ng MV Tricia Christine 3 at pinasuspinde na po natin ang kanilang Seaman's Identification Document. Kasama din po sa ating inatasan sa Marina ang pagsususpinde ng accreditation ng Orient Shipping Lines. Sinasabi nating third-party classification society na tumitingin supposedly ng seaworthiness ng vessel. Inutusan din natin ang DOTR Legal na makipag-ugnayan sa Marina at Coast Guard upang aralin at paghandaan ang pagsasampa ng criminal case against the officers, owners of Allison Shipping Lines, kasama na rin po ang mga tripulante, the survivors po, yung mga nakasurvive ng tripulante na MV Tricia Christine 3. Tulad po ng aking sinabi kanina, sa utos na rin po ng Pangulo, importante po malaman natin lahat ang bagay, mapag-gobyerno man o privado, dito sa nangyari dito sa trahedya noong January 26, 2026. Kaya nga po, starting today, I asked Marina to file administrative cases and to place the people under Region 9 Marina under preventive suspension. Ito po ay sina Regional Director Engineer Sibal, Engineer Bibi, at Second Mate Kimiki. At yung mga ibang personnel doon na mga 8, pinasipak na rin po natin. Ganon din po sa Philippine Coast Guard. Pinarelieve, pinasipak din natin yung mga ibang personnel sa Region 9, and they will be facing administrative cases also, and they will be placed under preventive suspension. And the following personnel are the Station Commander of CGS Zamboanga, Lieutenant Commander Tristan Perveciano, at yung sinasabi nating boarding team, yung the one that conducted the pre-departure inspection system, PO1 Turawini, PO3 Barreto, PO3 Asmawil, PO3 Muyo, all Philippine Coast Guard. At kung lumabas sa pantinig ng administrative cases nila, na meron silang matinding kababayaan sa kanilang tungkulin, we will not hesitate also to file criminal cases against them for possible violations of, I think, FRA 39, yung sinasabi natin, anti-graft and corruption practices. So dito nyo po makikita ng Department of Transportation, kasama na rin po ang Marina at ang PCG, na kung may pananagutan po kahit ang ating mga kasamahan, I will go into act on it. Ultimately po, ang pinag-usapan na namin kahapon, it all boils down to 3 questions. Ang una po, bakit pinayagan o bakit binigyan ng safety certificate ang MV Tricia Kirsten 3 sa kabila ng kanilang safety deficiencies na nakita? Pangalawa po, bakit pinayagan makapaglayag ang MV Tricia Kirsten 3 sa kabila ng mga safety violations ng araw na yun? At pangatlo po, bakit pa ulit-ulit na lang po ang Allison Shipping Lines sa mga ganitong insidente? At ano ba ang mga ginawa niya para ayusin dapat ang kanilang pagkukulang? Sa ating mga kababayan, mas lalo na po sa mga naging biktima ng trahedya ito, makakaasa po kayo na ang pamunuan ng kagawaran ng transportasyon, pati po ng Coast Guard at Marina. Ay personal po namin tututukan itong kaso ito. At sabi nga po ng ating Pangulo sa akin, justice must be served. And justice must be served swiftly. Ito po ay magiging unang hakbang pa lamang po para makamit ng justisya ng ating mga kababayan naging biktima sa trahedya ito. So we will be open to some questions and sasagutin po namin mga ibang katanungan na gusto niyo po itanong.
Can you identify yourself and the network or company you're affiliated?
Sec, Winilad from GMA TV News. Pinakamatanda yata muna yung Sec, what would it take para po mag-file na ng criminal case? Because right now, it's only administrative.
Pagdating po sa, may dalawa po kami nakikita, no? Unahin ko yung ship owners, no? Yung mga opisyal, pag may-ari ng Allison Shipping Lines. Sa isa sa mga pinag-usapan namin kanina, o kahapon with the D1DR legal, kailangan namin makita ba yung ibang ebidensya at yan ilalabas dito sa pandinig ng administratibo. Kasi dalawa po, meron po tayong sinasabi na pwedeng paglabak ng mga penal laws natin. Maaari po doon sa sinasabi nating revised penal code sa Article 365, yung reckless imprudence resulting to death or physical injury. At isa pang tinitingnan po namin, yung bagong Public Service Act. May nakalagay din po doon na kulong kapag isang ship owner, isang sinasabi natin public service, public utility, ay may ganitong matinding paglabag sa kanila supposedly na trabaho. Eh doon naman po sa ating mga kasamahan sa gobyerno, again, kapag may lumabas sa investigation during the hearing na there is gross negligence on their part, papakasuhan din po natin ng criminal case.
Bali, sa katapusin muna ng administrative, and then yung findings from that, yun yung magiging basis ng
Not necessarily tatapusin po. It will be a simultaneous process. Ngayon po, ang D1DR legal at kasamang Marina at Coast Guard, takalap na rin po sila. Iba kasi po, ang sinasabi natin ngayon, iba po yung if I have to be technical about it. No? Iba yung ebidensya na kailangan para makapagsampa tayo. Iba yung mga alegasyon na para makapagsampa tayo ng isang criminal case. Meron po mga elemento yan at yun po yung kinukuha namin at sinisiguro po namin. Filing of a criminal case is sinasabi natin, mabigat po yan. No? Pero kapag yan po ay lalabas sa mga investigasyon na ginagawa ngayon, sa mga dokumentong makakalap namin, ay gagawin naman po namin. Remember, this is an interim or partial report at this point in time. Kaya nilinaw ko po kanina, ganun pa man, bagamat is an interim and partial report, we think we have enough basis to start administrative cases against all these people who are related political.
Sa ba too early pa, baka meron lang top of mind na possible na criminal charges na possible na sampan.
For either. Sabi ko nga po, sa mga ship owners, sa mga opisyal, kung alis on shipping lines, it could be like Article 365 of the Revised Penal Code, yung reckless imprudence, or it could be a violation of the Public Service Act itself na may kasamang imprisonment. Pagdating naman sa ating mga kasamahan sa gobyerno, ang nakikita ko lang po na pwedeng isampa sa criminal case is yung violation ng Republic Act 3019, the Anti-Graft Corrupt Practices. Kasi kung hindi ako nagkakamali, may provision po doon na kapag ang isang public official nagbigay ng permit, license, o kung ano man, na sa tao hindi kwalipikado, that is considered as anti-graft and corrupt practice.
Hello po, good morning po, Secretary. We just want to clarify lang din po yung mga statements na mga witnesses na nakausap natin sa survival cases. Meron na rin po result of the preliminary investigation. Totoo po ba na wala daw alarm na nag-ring all throughout yung nangyayari po itong incident?
Kasama ko yung special investigator that conducted the investigation, si Engineer Rainier Pascual. With your permission, sir, mas maganda siya yung sumagot sa personal.
Good morning po. Based on sa statement namin with the group during the validation ng events what happened, wala pong nangyaring alarm or public address during the emergency ng prior na lubog at nagkapsay sa puno.
Okay po. And then, last na lang po, meron din pong mga reports na sinasabi ko na intentional daw yung pagpapalubog dito sa barko due to insurance claims. Can you confirm that? Ano po yung pangalan?
That's the need to be confirmed pero wala po sa level ko kasi ang ginawa lang po namin investigation is mag-city investigation.
And possible ba po, mga Secretary, na hindi lang po dito sa vessel na ito nangyayari yung overloading and then yung mga ganitong klaseng seaworthiness problems?
Always a possibility na highly talaga probable and possibility ganyan po yung nangyayari sa mga iba't ibang mga maritime vessel natin. Kaya nga po, ang importante dito, hindi lang po yung pananagutan ng ating mga involved dito, pero yung corrective measures also moving forward para hindi na po maulit ang mga ganitong trahedya.
Salamat po.
Hey, Sec, good morning. Paliwanag lang po yung sa Allison Shipping Lines. Yung sa third-party provider, ang value nila dito, yung sa seaworthiness certificate, the rest, itong hindi, yung pagtitimbang sa cargo, yung seamanship, yung dito kumaling bilang ng mga pasahero, wala po ito, pananagutan ng Allison Shipping Lines. Tama po ba?
Yes. Isipin po natin the seaworthiness is not only on the vessel itself. Kasama po yung seaworthiness ng sistema, kasama po yung seaworthiness ng mga tripulante. They're competent or qualified if they're doing their job. So tama po kayo, yung sinasabi natin classification society, yun po nagdetermina ng seaworthiness of the vessel itself. No? Nagbigay po sila ng rekomendasyon, bagaman meron talagang safety deficiencies that they themselves documented. That's the issue here. No, but kung magbibigay ng seaworthiness certificate, meron ka nakitang safety deficiency.
Doon po sa bilang ng mga na-relieve na personnel, tama po, 8 sa Marina, and sa PCG, ilan po sa Region 9 ang na-relieve.
Amin po. 8 and 6 agencies. Thank you po.
Hi, Secretary. Good morning. Si John Super Martinez. Sir, yung third party na nagbibigay ng safety certificate, is it a private or government agency?
It's a private entity. Isa rin po siyang shipping line. Orient. It's a classification society. Ang pangalan na. O yung Orient something ang pangalan. At ito po, ang isa sa mga kailangan namin baguhin, which I learned yesterday, ito pong classification society that gives supposedly seaworthiness test dito sa mga vessel namin ay being hired by the vessel themselves. So sila ang kumukuha. So you see that apparent and real conflict of interest. Ang pinag-usapan namin with Marina yesterday, sabihin na natin nagbigay ito na classification society ng rekomendasyon na seaworthy ang isang barko. Ang Marina ba bound to accept the recommendation despite the varying inconsistencies or safety deficiencies that are duly documented? Dapat po hindi tinanggap ng Marina. Kaya nga po, kasama sila yung Region 9 sa pinaka-investigan natin. Again, they should not be bound by the recommendation of a classification society, especially when there are safety deficiencies that are duly documented. Ano may obligasyon po ng seaworthiness? Gobyerno po. That is a due delegation. Kung tatanggapin na po natin lahat ang rekomendasyon ng isang pribado, hindi ko po sinasabi na mali na ang pribado ang magsasagawa ng seaworthiness test that being hired by the vessel or the shipping company themselves. Ang sinasabi ko po dito, bakit yung tatanggapin ang isang rekomendasyon na may safety deficiencies that are duly documented?
Sir, who owns the Allison Shipping Lines?
The specific names of the owners, I really don't know, to be honest. May nagsasabi, a certain family. Hindi ko na po inalam kung sino talaga ang may-ari ng shipping lines. Ang importante sa akin, kahit sino may-ari, mananagot po.
Morning, sir. Johnson Carson from AFP. Sir, na-identify na po ba yung mga missing considering na iba pa yung nasa manifest and paano po nila malalaman?
Can I respectfully defer to Philippine Coast Guard Admiral?
Good morning, everyone. Ongoing po yung identification process through the SOCO.
I guess po, maybe hear po from Marina kung ano pong take nyo dito and ano po bang relationship meron yung Orient and Alice?
Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Of course, Allison is the ship owner. Ang Orient, a Register of Ships, is a Marina Accredited Classification Society. So, a classification society is sila po yung in charge doon sa standards on the hull and machinery, while si Marina naman checks on the life safety compliances, firefighting, navigation of equipment, and all other, and the system on board the ship.
May long-standing relationships na po ba sila or any records in the past that may have also affected?
You mean that the classifications?
I mean, kung matagal na po ba silang may relationship na yung Orient talaga yung nag-check po?
So yung mga vessels nila ay classed by ORS. So Orient Registration.
Hindi po nga may investigation, pero would it be possible na sa ganito mga scenario nagkakaroon ng konsyamahan?
It's difficult to say, no, but it should be lalabas sana sa ating mga investigation. Yung detailed, talaga yung participation natin. At this point, it's difficult.
Ma'am, nabanggit yung secretary na dapat hindi daw po tinanggap ng Marina. So moving forward, ano na po ang magiging protocol?
Yun nga yung kaya nasama natin doon sa mga in-charge, yung taga-Marina. Kasi, of course, under our procedures, ang last na doon sasabi at mag-i-issue ng safety document is the Marina. So, sa ngayon, we will improve on the monitoring and oversight of how these are issued. So, in the short term, we are validating all the condition, and we are conducting a nationwide compliance monitoring of cautions.
Right, sir. Morning. Bernard Palagui, TV4. Sir, yung status lang ng net insurance para sa mga biktima ng paglubog ng barko.
Kahapon din po, tinanong ko kung may, kasi merong mga reports kulang na walang insurance. So I asked Marina, are you sure there's an insurance policy and covered? Sabi nila, yes. That was yesterday. Then kanina, I met with them again. Sabi ko, bring out the policy. So meron naman po, may polisiya. So as to the status, kapag ilan na po yung nakatanggap, I will ask
Based on the submitted report from Zamboanga, so we assigned personnel from Marina to assist in the processing of claims. And we were able to reduce the documents from 7 to 2. And po sila yung claim processing center in Zamboanga with the insurance personnel at meron din po yung Marina. And as of today, so far 9 yung nabigyan ng 200,000 na death coverage and 13 na 50,000 for the burial assistance.
And to PCG Commandant, at sir, update lang sa ongoing search and rescue operation sa Basilan and yung status ng lumubog na barko, magkakaroon na po ba tayo ng salvage operation?
Salvage operation, wala po po. Nakafocus pa tayo sa search and retrieval plan, possible even rescue. So ongoing yung ating technical wreck diving operations up to 170 feet. Delikado po yung diving operations na ginagawa ng mga tauhan natin ngayon. Mas rest assured, the public is assured. The Coast Guard will sustain these operations until all bodies are found.
Sir, last na lang po. Yung status po ng mga operasyon ng barko, given na nasuspindi nga po yung Allison shipping, kumusta na po yung paggalaw ng mga barko dun sa area?
Yes, first, no, the fleet of Allison remain grounded po sila. Kung maalala nyo po, last January 27, sabi ko, i-ground natin for safety audit. And Marina, ang recommendation nila, still, dapat grounded sila. Now, as to the, sinasabi natin yung pagbiyahe doon, ng mga pasahero and cargos, ang report ko sa atin Admin Sonia ay wala naman pong nade-delay, walang stranded, maayos po. Pero I will ask Admin Sonia to at least give the report.
Thank you po, Secretary. And yes, after the suspension of the CTC ng Allison, so meron po tayong 7 ruta na naapektuhan and immediately may isang ruta na nawala ng serbisyo, pero agad-agad po nag-deploy ng additional vessels in Montenegro at meron din pong nag-start ulit din ng operations technically. So sa ngayon po, lahat ng mga ruta ay may serbisyo at ang report, wala naman pong report ng mga standing or delay, except of course nung dumaan si Basha. So, thank you.
Kay ano na po, just po from Billionario, I believe po you mentioned po earlier na wala pa po, mas nakafocus po sa rescue and operations. Pero, wala po ba tayo tina-target na date kung kailan po yung magiging dry docking ng barko? Kung kailan po siya
Sa ngayon po, yung decision po na i-refloat yung Barco will rest with the Coast Guard, no. So sa ngayon, wala pa po definite tayo. Pa-focus po tayo sa pagkakalap.
Tama po si Attorney Gavan kasi po ang sinabi natin sa kanila, give priority to the search at the given, prevent the rescue pa rin ng mga missing na sinasabi natin pasahero dito or crew. So yun talaga po ang sinabi po natin sa kanila na bigyang prioridad. And after this, kung pag ano na, I'm going to lead to Coast Guard kung kailan na pwede salvage yun.
Sa inyong pagdinig po dun sa mga involved, nagsimula na po ba or kailan mo sila magsisimula?
A formal charge will be filed today, so the charges against them will start today. So magsisimula na po yung magpandinig sa kanila, may proseso po yan. Bibigay sa kanila yung sa tingin namin, pagkukulang nila. Meron silang karapatan na sumagot. Then, yun po, we're just going to follow the process. Sinasabi ko nga sa ating mga kasamahan dito, strive if we must, but we have to hear them first because of the action process.
Sir, clarification lang po. It's more than 2 weeks. Ano na po tayo? Search and rescue or retrieval operation?
We are not losing hope. We still find survivors. So officially, we're still on search and rescue phase. We're hope. So we're not letting our guards down. The force commitment has stayed. Ganun pa rin karami yung vessels involved in the operation.
Secretary, itong nakaraan, January, marami pong mga pagluhog. Yung iba mga tumahog na bangka. Meron po bang naging miscommunication sa pagbibigay ng iso sa ating mga sa nakaraan?
With your permission, I would defer that to either Marina and Coast Guard po. No? Kasi I think the first 2 vessels na ganito din ang nangyari is quite different from the MV vessel situation. Ay, the MV Asia Christine. Ang isa po, hindi talaga siya passenger vessel. But of course, I will ask either Philippine Coast Guard Admiral, Tony Caban, or Admin Sonia to answer that.
Yes, on the side of the Coast Guard, we have been focused on preventive measures. And isa po sa mga ginagawa natin, yung pag-aabiso even sa coastal communities, nag-i-issue din tayo ng notice to mariners kung may masamang manunod. And we engage our stakeholders. Insofar as relationship with the stakeholders concerned, wala po kaming nakikita ang laking issue na masabi natin mayroong discoordination. We have been in this for several years. May doktrina na laging ginagawa yung ating mga kabuhay sa mga. Ngayon pa man, sinabi po na ating secretary na upang itaguyod natin ang isang objective na investigation. I will place all of those personnel involved in the inspection of the vessel prior to departure and the preventive suspension effective today.
Hi, sir. FJ po from Inquirer. Sir, recall po na after all this na nangyari na po is you instructed Marina to provide a full inventory of the safety audit covering all domestic shipping lines across the country. Ano po yung update po?
So far, na-identify muna natin yung mga na-involved sa accident. So we consider them as the high risk. So yan yung priority doon sa ating nationwide revalidation or compliance check as the first high-risk group. And then we are completing the analysis of the whole inventory, including all factors like the age, the operational and navigational areas, but it will take a little longer to complete that. So we will start with those that were previously involved in incidents.
May we know po parang kahit exam for na numbers of that high-risk incidents po?
Well, actually, if we will replace the passenger ships as the top priority and the high-risk group, and as of now, we have 886 passenger ships. That is excluding our motor bancas. And actually, in the 24 and 25, we have conducted intensified compliance monitoring of about 75% of that number. But this time, we will ensure that it should be 100%.
And target date na lang po by that po is never you.
So we cannot give yet now the exact timeline, but we'll adjourn.
And last na lang po from my end, after all this hapon na nangyari, meron po bang pagbabago sa polisiya pagdating po sa design ng listening sa mga shipper?
Yes, it's more of the corrective, the enforcement side. Tulad nga po ng pinag-usapan namin. When this incident happened, so nagtanong na tayo, ano ba yung sistema nyo sa inspection? We do it annually. So bago maglalabas tayo ng sa department order, dapat ang inspection must be risk-based categorization. Ano po ba ito? Dapat, ang Marina, if they conduct their safety certificate, dapat merong high risk, medium risk, low risk ng mga vessel. At ilang beses na dapat magpapandak dito kapag high risk itong vessel, dapat quarterly. It's up to them how to do it. 30 pwede, minsanan lang. Ang medium risk, pwede nilang gawin semi-annually. Pero again, in both category, dapat merong surprise inspection. The low risk, you can do it annually if you want. Ganun din po, dapat meron din tayong categorization sa ruta. Kasi may mga ruta na sinasabi natin high risk, medium risk, and low risk. We have to be kung ang sinasabi ko nga po, we have to be scientific to our approach. Hindi na po pwedeng 1 year lang po lahat. Ang pangalawa po na pinag-usapan namin kahapon, sabi ko po, yung mas maliliit na bagay, from now on, lahat ng life vest, ilutos nyo sa mga shipowners, ilagay nyo sa ilalim ng upuan nila o malapit sa kanila. Kasi there are vessels that comply with it, pero yung mga ibang barko, napakalayo ng andyan nga, yung life vest, pero ang layo naman, kapag may aberya nangyari, talaga magpapanik, magkakagulo. Simple as that. Tapos yung sinasabi nating life rafts, yung sinasabi nila, dapat inflatable na. So yun yung mga gagawin namin pagpabago, mga short term, medium term, and long term. But as we go on, maglalabas pa kami ng mga iba't ibang policy.
Hi, Commander. Sir, sabi niyo, di ba, you're still hoping na may survivor pa. Pero after 2 weeks, ano ang probability? Gano'ng maliit o gano'ng malaki na may buhay pa?
As to
Hi, sir.
As to probability, hindi ko kita masasagot. But there are some stories in the past na may nahanap kahit na matagal na. So we are addressing here the expectations of our people. The Coast Guard insists for the people. So we will do everything we can, however we can, to alleviate the sufferings.
Commandant, based on science, ilang araw, linggo, or pwedeng mag-survive ang kasayang sakay na isang nagdadaling barko?
Yung tao na mamatay kung walang tubig in 3 days. That's the rule of thumb. Ngunit, may mga pangyayari na nabubuhay ng mas matagal. So we are hoping against hope. I hope you understand that. But we don't want our people to lose hope that they can still find their loved ones. So the Coast Guard will do everything and anything it can to help our people. That is the directive from President Mas. Talagaan ang tao.
Pwede mo bang magtali tayo ng figures lang para magtugmaan po? Ilan ang nasa manifesto, ilan ang sakay, ilan ang missing, ilan ang casualty, and ilan ang carrying capacity ng bato?
Again, this is a live figure. Validation has been ongoing. But as of this morning, this is the figure. We have 293 survivors. 52 cadavers have been recovered. And we have 24 missing. The authorized passenger capacity is 352. It is allowed to have 24 crew, excluding the ancillaries. So far, 369 bodies deceased or not, and the missing are known or are considered here, with a total of 369. The vessel, its passenger capacity, authorized passenger capacity is 352. Pag idagdag po natin yung allocated for the officers and crew, the report here is it will result in 388. So 388 minus 369, mayroon pa pong 19 na unfilled capacity. But I have to emphasize, this is a live document. This can change because the operation is still ongoing. But we will update you as soon as changes.
Sir, klaro na ho, ilan yung nasa manifesto talaga? Kasi yung issue po ng pag-claim sa insurance, baka magkaroon ng problema kung wala sa manifesto.
Okay. The manifested passengers, yung survivors, 170. Passengers not in the manifest, 96. In the manifest, 34 passengers have perished. There were 9 passengers not in the manifest that were recovered.
Thank you.
Can you just accommodate one more question sa Secretary Sana?
Good morning, Commander. Jico Custodio from Brigada. Sir, follow-up lang ako dun sa sinabi nyo na ongoing yung identification process ng mga labit. So how long it would take para matukoy yung pagkakakilala ng mga victims na recovered? And meron na po ba nga naibalik dun sa kanilang mga pamilya?
Mga naibalik meron na. As to how long will it take, hindi po kita masagot. Yung SOCO po, gumagawa ng BMA management. We are also employing inquiries. We are interviewing people to help with that. We are doing everything and anything possible to identify the offenders as soon as possible.
Sir, yes.
Ay, salamat po sa inyong oras at pagkakataon. Salamat.
Okay, that concludes our